I avoided talking about what had happened yesterday. I'll be riding with you guys from now on to and from school. As we entered the school, we quickly gathered our things from our lockers and headed to class. There were no events, to my surprise. Naomi and Suzu took their seats around me. Suzu in front of me, Naomi beside me, before the class bell rang and the class was greeted by our teacher. History wasn't as boring as economics, but I still managed to space out in that class just the same. And this is where we diverge. Naomi seemed to be very tense, focused on her desk more so than usual. I was almost tempted to poke her and see what was wrong. My phone, though, vibrated in my pocket. Thank God I set it on vibrate before class. I pulled out my phone and checked it, seeing a text from Suzu. I began to text back, suddenly going into a text conversation.
Dude, what's up with Naomi?
Does this mean that Diana causes trouble with the girl that she sees that we're interested in, just to force a confession, which is kind of messed up in a way? Because Suzu seems fine now. But Naomi's the one that's in distress, I guess. I don't know.
Man, I hope everything's alright with her. This isn't like her at all.
Same here. I looked over once again at Naomi. She was intensely scribbling in her notebook, almost obsessively so. The grip on her new-looking purple pencil was almost tight enough to bend at each stroke she made with it. Diana... I appreciate it, but mostly I'm annoyed because you're just forcing things.
By the way, Kay kinda let me in on what's going on with Naomi.
Oh. What's going on with her? Also, Kay shouldn't have done that. We told Naomi she could tell us when she was ready.
Apparently, Naomi's got a crush on someone. Like, a huge crush. She's been to the cafe to see Kay multiple times since the beginning of the school year.
Really? I couldn't believe it. Was Naomi having romance troubles? I looked over once more. Something made my heart slightly skip at seeing her again. I was worried, yes, but for some reason I felt a little angry. Who did Naomi have a crush on? Why was she so nervous about it? Why couldn't she tell me? I put my phone back in my pocket, ending the conversation. Hopefully Naomi would explain things to me soon. I was almost abnormally curious about her and this mystery crush. Time continued until the end of the class period in that exact status. Naomi held her tense ground, focusing on nothing but the incoherent scribbles on her paper, while Suzu and I watched on in worry, not caring for the class we were in. As the bell rang, Naomi stood up suddenly.
I need to go. See you in economics.
Not this again. Do I gotta chase you too? And for the first time ever, Naomi was the first person out of the door.
What just happened?
I don't know. Chase her. I needed to see what was wrong. Naomi was important to me and I needed to help her. I instantly grabbed my things and rushed out of the room.
Whoa! Anderson! Hey!
I wasn't listening. I needed to get to Naomi. The hall was full of students, which made spotting Naomi a little harder. I wish I was just a little taller. Naomi... I began to push through the crowd, trying to find a trace of her. Her hair, her shirt, anything. I managed to get a glimpse of her white bow, instinctively following it down the hall into a classroom. Naomi's class was the other way. Where was she going? I continued following and peeked into the classroom, seeing no one else in there except Naomi. What shocked me was seeing Naomi standing over an empty desk, whimpering and almost sobbing. I didn't know what to do. The world behind me in the hall went into slow motion as I stared at Naomi's back. She obviously wanted to be alone, but I wanted to help her and fix whatever was bothering her. Help her. I couldn't leave her like this. I quietly stepped into the room and closed the door, making Naomi flinch and freeze up. Naomi? Naomi gasped before turning to me, a shocked expression on her face. Tears had painted her cheeks, which made my heart sink in my chest. Naomi, what's wrong?
It's nothing. Nothing.
Naomi quickly rubbed her eyes and face, trying to cover her face and clean it of sadness. I pressed my lips together, not believing her. Naomi, talk to me. You were acting strange in history.
I was just listening to the lecture.
My mouse really doesn't like you. You were scribbling in your notebook. I was watching almost the entire class period.
I have bad handwriting.
No, she didn't. She had the most precise and elegant handwriting I had ever seen. Why was she lying to me? What was going on? What was making her so distraught? Naomi, whatever is troubling you, let me help you.
You can't help me, okay?
I stepped back, feeling the sudden anger in her voice. She covered her mouth regarding what came out of it and stared almost in pure fright at me. Naomi. I stepped towards her, not wanting to scare her, but wanting to be closer. Naomi didn't seem affected, so I continued to walk towards her. Eventually, we were only a desk away from each other. Tell me. Naomi stared before letting out a shuddering sigh, nodding in defeat. I slowly took a seat in the desk in front of me, watching as she moved to stand in front of it.
I've been having some issues, okay?
Issues? What about?
Well, I mean, it's not an issue, but I mean, it's hard to describe.
Is someone bothering you?
In a way.
Sorry. Is someone bullying you?
No.
Does someone have a crush on you? Give me something to work with here, girls, like pulling teeth.
Well, actually, it's the opposite.
You have a crush on someone.
Yeah, but I don't know how to handle it. I mean, I used to believe I liked only guys, but all of a sudden I had these feelings. So I went to Kay, but she only listened and told me to just go along with it. But I don't know how to, I mean...
Aw, poor girl. You have a crush on a girl.
That's not bad, is it? I'm the one who always wanted to talk about guys.
No way. You can like whoever you want to like.
But what if I liked someone who was really close to me?
That would be okay if said person is me, because I've been trying to do your route, girl. My mind instantly went to Suzu. Did Naomi like her? There's no way. Then again, maybe Suzu's rebellious personality interested Naomi enough to like her after all of these years. It wouldn't be impossible. Yet, I somehow felt a little jealous. Naomi likes Suzu? How could that be? I had to stop. This wasn't helping Naomi. I needed to help her feel better beyond anything else. So what? If you like someone close to you, that makes the feeling that much more powerful. Who knows, maybe she likes you back. Naomi stared at me with a look I almost couldn't understand. It seemed strange, but it was almost loving.
What if the person I like is you?
Dun dun dun! I felt like I was dreaming. What? She liked me? Huh? When? How? Oh! Hello. Naomi looked down at the desk, her face turning red.
I've liked you for a while now. I mean, well, I've liked you since last year. I was really not sure about how I felt, though, until last semester, when I started seeing Kay. She told me that what I was feeling was normal, even though I kind of thought I'd always go for men. I mean, not that I have anything against people who aren't straight, but like...
Poor Naomi. Naomi whimpered as she fumbled over her words. I found it adorable, but I couldn't help but stare in surprise at her. She liked me? Gently, Naomi took one of my hands and brought it to her lips, closing her eyes to breathe before looking back at me.
I like you. I really do. Okay?
I felt my heart flutter in flattery. Naomi, one of my best friends, liked me. I wasn't sure what to say. Naomi's face was almost as red as a tomato, but she continued to hold my hand, wanting me to say something. She was a very patient woman. I guess the confession really got her nerves out, because now she was calm and seemed relaxed. What could I say to her, though? This was a huge deal for both her and me. She had been one of my best friends for the majority of my life, and here she was, confessing to having a crush on me. It was surreal, yet it made me feel both strange and fluffy. Naomi smiled and gently lowered my hand. I watched as she let out a relaxed sigh.
I feel so much better after saying that. Thank you.
couldn't help but stare at Naomi longer. Was she not expecting me to say anything in return? A sentence bubbled in my stomach, forcing itself out of my mouth without filter. I'm glad you feel better. Go out with me. I did not know what came over me. I let it spill out. I liked her, though. I liked her a lot. She was adorable and cute in her own special way. I loved that she was an individual and stayed true to herself, no matter what Suzu or I did. Sure, she was a little ditzy, but that added to the charm. Naomi stared wide-eyed at me, blushing as red as could be. I was positive that if she blushed any more, she would faint from all of the blood rushing into her cheeks to color them that red.
Did you just...
Yes, I did. I stood and gently took Naomi's hand. I needed her to know how I felt. She poured her feelings out to me. It was more than fair to share mine with her. I really like you too. You're adorable, and I love that about you. You're kind and sophisticated, and you have this sort of charm. Naomi, will you go out with me? Naomi was completely red in the face, but her eyes started to water. Rogue tears dripped from the edges of her eyes as she smiled at me.
Yes, I will!
Naomi rushed around the desk separating us and hugged me tightly. I held her to me and smiled. I felt a small part of my heart fill with pure joy. I felt happy, like nothing was going to stand in my way with Naomi to help me.